Welcome to English as a Second Language podcast, number 48. You're listening to English as a Second Language podcast, episode number 48. My name is Dr. Jeff McQuillan from the Center for Educational Development in Los Angeles, California. Visit our website for more information about this podcast and for the scripts for today's podcast. Our web address is www.eslpod.com. Today, we're going to talk about going to the movies over the weekend. Let's get started. My friend Jim and I decided to see the latest blockbuster this weekend. I like a good action movie once in a while. We decided to meet at the movie theater after work. When I got to the theater, I looked around and didn't see Jim. So I thought I would get in line to buy tickets. There were 2 different lines, so I asked a woman standing in the first one, "Is this the line for Mission Impossible 4? And she said, "Yes, I'm afraid it is." I turned around and saw why she said that. It was really long and had about 20 people in it already. Oh well. I went to the back of the line and waited. About 10 minutes later, I saw Jim coming up the escalator. He looked out of breath. He said, "Hey, sorry for being so late. I hit a lot of traffic on the way over." I told him, "Don't worry about it. As you can see, we have a long wait." We finally got up to the head of the line. The clerk behind the ticket counter said, "Can I help you?" And I said, "2 tickets for MI4, please." We weren't children, students, or seniors, so there were no special discounts for us. The clerk handed me 2 tickets, and we headed inside. There was a ticket taker just inside the door, and he took our tickets, handing back to us our stubs. Coming straight from work, I was really hungry. Jim and I went to the concession stand and got a couple of Cokes, a tub of popcorn, a hot dog, and a box of candy. We were set. We went into the screening room, and it was packed. Lucky for us, we found some seats together that weren't too close to the screen. We sat back and waited for the movie to start. While we watched 10 minutes of previews, we wolfed down our food. by the time the movie started, I was feeling pretty good. I don't know which was better, the movie or the great junk food. Today I talked about my friend Jim and I going to see a movie. The movie is or was the latest blockbuster. A blockbuster is a very successful movie or book, one that is very popular. I said that I like a good action movie once in a while. An action movie is a movie with lots of car chases and usually there are fights and so forth. That's an action movie. We decided to meet at the movie theater after work. When we say after work, we mean after we are finished with our jobs. When I got to the movie theater, I said that I got in line to buy tickets. To get in line means to stand in line, to stand with other people who are buying tickets. Tickets, of course, is what you need to get into the movie theater. It's a little piece of paper that they give you. I said that I wasn't sure which line I should get into or stand in, so I asked a woman if this was the right line for my movie, and she said, yes, I'm afraid it is. That expression, I'm afraid, doesn't mean she is actually or really scared or afraid of something. It's an expression we use when we have to tell someone some bad news. I'm afraid that you failed the test. The teacher might say to the student, it's bad news. So we use that expression, I'm afraid, when we're telling someone some news that they probably don't want to hear. I decided to get into the line, and I used the expression, oh well. Oh well is an expression that we use to mean, well, I guess I can't do anything about it, or that's just the way that it is. I can't change it. Oh well. I said I went to the back of the line. There are two parts of a line that you get into for buying tickets or any sort of line. There's the head of the line, that's the front, and then there's the back of the line, that's the end of the line. My friend Jim arrived at the movie theater by coming up the escalator. An escalator is a stairs or a set of stairs that moves electronically. So it's a moving staircase or a moving stairs. My friend looked out of breath when he got off the escalator. And that is also the verb we use to get off the escalator. You can also use that for an elevator. An elevator is, of course, something that goes straight up and straight down in a building that takes you from one floor to another floor. You get off the elevator and you get on the elevator, just as you would get off a plane and get on a plane. My friend, I was saying, was out of breath. To be out of breath is if you climb up some stairs or you run, you may have to breathe heavily because you're out of breath. Means that you have difficulty breathing suddenly. My friend told me that he had hit a lot of traffic on the way over. To hit traffic means that you are on the freeway or on the street and there are a lot of cars around you. You encounter traffic. To hit traffic means that you're driving and suddenly you are in traffic. That is the expression we use. On the way over means on my way here, on my way to the theater. When Jim and I got to the head of the line, or the front of the line, we walked up to the ticket window. The ticket window is the place in a movie theater or any sort of theater where you buy your tickets. So we walked up to the ticket window, and because we were not children or students or seniors, we had no special discounts for us. Movie theaters in the United States often give a discount or a lower price if you are a child or you are a student at the university, or if you are over a certain age, usually 65 years old. We call people who are over 65 years old seniors. The clerk handed me 2 tickets and we headed inside. To hand something to someone means to give it to them. Usually you are giving it to them with your hand. And to head inside means to go inside or to go in the direction of. I am headed to San Francisco means I am going in the direction of San Francisco. When we got inside, there was a ticket taker. A ticket taker, you probably can guess, is the person who takes your ticket so you can get inside the theater. In this case, the ticket is torn or ripped in half or along one part of the ticket, and the ticket taker gives you back part of the ticket, sort of like a receipt. That little part of the ticket that he or she gives back to you is called a stub, S-T-U-B. So the ticket taker handed back or gave back to us our stubs. I said that I had come straight from work. When we say I came straight from work or I came straight from school, we mean that we didn't stop anywhere. I didn't stop to eat. I didn't stop at my home. I went directly from work to that place. You can come straight from any location, any place. If you want to buy food in a movie theater or any sort of theater or a baseball or football stadium, you have to go to the concession stand. A concession stand is a place where they sell food and sometimes other things like shirts and hats if it's a sports team. In a theater, a concession stand sells soda, Coca-Cola. They sell popcorn, and usually they put the popcorn in a big container, a big holder, and we call that a tub, T-U-B. A tub of popcorn is a big container or big like a big bowl that holds your popcorn. We went into the screening room, and I said that it was packed. The screening room in a movie theater is the place where you actually watch the movie. There are two parts to most movie theaters. There's the lobby, and that's outside of the screening room, and then there's the screening room where all the seats are and all the movie is actually watched. In the lobby, you'll find the concession stand and the restrooms or the bathrooms. When we say something is packed, we mean it is full. It is very, very full. When a theater is packed, every seat is taken. There's someone sitting in every single seat. It was packed. We can use that expression for a party, for example. I went to my friend's party and it was packed in his house. I mentioned that we found two seats together that weren't too close to the screen. The screen, you probably know, is a big white thing that we watch the movie on. The movie is projected or shown onto the screen. In most movies that you go to, there are always previews. Previews are basically commercials or advertisements for other movies that are going to be released or going to be showing in the movie theater. Usually these last about 10 minutes before you get to the actual movie you came to see. I said that Jim and I wolfed down our food. To wolf down means to eat very quickly. When you're really hungry, when you're very hungry, you may eat your food very fast. And the informal expression for that is to wolf down. A wolf, of course, is an animal that is the enemy of the sheep. A sheep is the animal that you get wool from. But the idea here is that a wolf eats quickly. And so it's almost to say you are eating like a wolf. You wolf down your food. The kind of food that you buy in a movie theater is what we would call junk food. Junk is garbage, something that's not worth very much, something that isn't very good. We say that's junk. Well, junk food is things like popcorn and hot dogs and potato chips. That's all not very good food for you, but it tastes very good, so we call that junk food. Well, I hope that you don't eat just junk food, but that you do continue to listen to ESL Podcast. Email us and tell us who you are and where you are listening from. Our email address is eslpod@eslpod.com. From Los Angeles, California, I'm Dr. Jeff McQuillan. We'll see you next time on ESL Podcast. ESL Podcast is produced by the Center for Educational Development in Los Angeles, California. This podcast is copyright 2005.